Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. All right, let's talk about the wall. All right, the wall, yeah. And it does look like we could be heading towards a shutdown potentially. Trump has put this back on the table. You know, it was on the table. They pulled it off. They said they weren't going to do it, and now it's back on because I think a lot of people, you know, in his base expressed that they're not happy. You know, I mean, Jim Jordan was on the floor, I think, of Congress. He was basically laying this out that, you know, we've basically gone through 4 spending bills. And over the course of those spending bills, we keep telling the American people, the Congress does, that, you know, it'll be in the next one. And people are just fed up, you know. I don't have huge, real strong feelings on the wall until people start telling me why we shouldn't do it. And when I start reading tweets about, you know, from just people on the other side of the issue insulting people who want the wall, then I actually become for the wall, big time. And it's just a practical thing. I mean, just look at, and there's a lot going on. They have Trump. So Trump has basically said the stopgap measure that they've already passed. I think both houses, the House of Representatives and the Senate, that doesn't have the $5 billion in it for the wall. He said he's going to veto that. And but they have passed a new measure, a new stopgap measure with the $5 billion in there for the wall, but now it has to get through the Senate. Nancy Pelosi had said that would not pass any bill with the spending for the wall, and it's got $5 billion in there. Wouldn't have passed either chamber, you know, in Congress, the House of Representatives, but it did pass the House quite handily, you know. I think it was 217 to 185, so no problem, easily passed. But now the Senate is a different story altogether, and it's got different rules. And I suspect the Democrats are going to try to filibuster it, in which case you need 61 votes to break the filibuster. But Mitch McConnell might be able to, you know, use some kind of procedural rule to circumvent the filibuster. But I don't know that he even wants to. He's fairly pro-immigration, you know, because of all the huge corporate donors that control a big, huge, you know, the majority of the Republican Party. When you get right down to it, that's where this all lies. I mean, who do you think doesn't want the wall? Who do you think is the number one thing that doesn't want the wall? And it's huge corporate donors that don't want it. I mean, do you think corporations want the wall? Do you think corporations want the wall and politicians are standing up to the corporations because the corporations want the wall and that's why the politicians don't want to do it? No, of course not. That's ridiculous. Of course, the corporations don't want the wall, and the politicians do whatever the corporations want. And the reason the corporations don't want the wall is because it's just basic economics. You have tons of people pouring over the border, which are customers and employees, that lower the wages, make the employee pool just humongous, so that they have labor at any given time at the lowest possible rate, and you know, all the people at the lowest levels of society fighting over each other, tons of them, more and more of them for cheap jobs, and their customers too. I mean, it's believe me. But it has passed the House. It's got to get to the Senate. Whether or not it gets through the Senate, we'll see. And they have till tomorrow night, Friday night at midnight, to pass something, or else the government shuts down. You know, but Trump has said if they pass a stopgap measure that doesn't have the $5 billion in it, he's vetoing it, and that means we're heading towards a shutdown. And now that we've kind of, you know, we've already been in this. They had the shutdown off the table, but now it's back on the table. I don't see Trump backing down. I really don't. So if I had to bet, if I had to bet on this, my money's on that Trump wins this one. I really do think he's going to, and we'll see, because I don't see him backing down. And basically, you know, and a ton of people, a ton of senators have already left. They're not even in Washington anymore. They've already gone home for the holidays. Now they have to come back. It's totally crazy. We'll see. And you know. Like I said, I don't have super strong feelings on the wall anyways, but when I hear people argue about it, I always end up on the side of, you know, I have zero problem with them building the wall, and I see that it's just a practical use of funds for a problem that we can't handle the border with manpower. It's like your own home, and I'm not using the analogy of you lock your doors or you have a fence around your home. I am using that analogy, but if you just think of your own home, do you, as a homeowner, do you have like a private guard that guards your home, basically forever? Or do you go out and, have somebody install a fence or some kind of barrier that surrounds the home for whatever, to keep out whatever, No, of course you put a fence around your home, and you can't afford to have somebody that basically, stands guard at your home permanently forever. And I'm just saying that just because it's too expensive, But that just shows you that building a wall is actually the more effective use of funds. And we do both. We have Border Patrol and so forth. But we can't have Border Patrol employees overseeing every single square mile of our border. It's just too big. And so you need the wall, And that's just is. And the people who don't want the wall is huge corporations, basically, And it's just all there is to it. So, but also in addition to that, some dude, a triple amputee, his name's Brian Colfage, and he's a fairly well-known individual. He's a motivational speaker. There he is with his beautiful family. He's got a wife and 2 kids. He lost both of his legs and one of his arms in the war in Iraq in 2004 during his second tour of duty. It was the base where he was staying. There was a rocket attack, and a rocket landed like 3 feet from him. It actually says on his website he is the most injured, most severely wounded U.S. airman to survive his wounds. And but he's also a motivational speaker who inspires Americans to greater success he does a number of things. He's become a national personality. He has his own Facebook page with his own blue check mark and so forth. But he started a GoFundMe campaign. His own GoFundMe campaign to fund building the wall on his own, just using regular citizens making donations. And it started out, it instantly went to $1 million, and he's trying to raise $1 billion, but this is just regular folks donating whatever, 10 and 20 bucks at a time or more, and it's already grown to $9.8 million with 163,000 different donors. Even when I left work tonight, it was 8 million, and just in a few hours, it's already grown almost 2 more million, and it's probably grown a little bit, just keeps going up, every hour. It's right over now. It's over 10 million with 166,700 different donors. It just kind of tells you. How deeply the American people believe in this, and the amount of money we waste, at the government, and they spend they spend trillions of dollars over this. The amount of money for the wall is nothing. It's insignificant, and basically the reason they don't want to build the wall is because of, like I just told you, because the large corporations like it just the way it is. Where people can just pour in, and cheap labor pours over the border, who are also customers too, So, but there's a variety of responses to the GoFundMe and obviously, people are majorly behind it. He's already raised $10 million within a few days from just regular folks, but the response from others is quite. Some of it's just absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Some of it's basically saying, why aren't you funding, homeless vets or stuff like that, instead of, they calling it like a wall of hate or a white supremacist cause, which is ridiculous. It's just terrible. But others say things that are just disgusting, calling people dumb and awful things. Just awful. This dude here, a little bit of math on the GoFundMe wall. GoFund the wall. They've raised $4 million. It's $10 million now in 3 days. Wow. And he says, now, by Fox News' own estimate, the wall would cost $25 billion. If they raise $1.3 million a day every day, it would take them 51 years, 4 months, and 90 days. So keep donating, dummies. This is a comedian who's, he's actually a pretty big YouTuber as well. But it's things saying just terrible things like that, definitely puts me in the corner of build the wall. And I was before that, but, and that's the story there. That is the story there, man. All right. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. And I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.